So this is the Napcat solar-powered security system. You can see here that it's got solar power here, non-stop protection. We're going to do an unboxing. We're going to walk through everything. I want to give you some specifics as far as what comes in the box before we open it, so you know what we're looking at. You can follow them on all their social medias: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. The beautiful thing about this, right, is it basically comes with its own storage system itself. And so there's no monthly fee. You get instant notifications. Again, there's wire-free cameras. So I don't necessarily know where we're going to have the final install. So where you see it outside when we put it together might not be the final install, the final location. We might put wood on our shed. We're still kind of debating. We also have to check the Wi-Fi and see where the sunlight is and stuff like that. But as far as in the box, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get cameras, brackets, screws, surveillance poster, screw holes, positioning card, all of that. You're going to get your NVR, the network cable, HDMI cables, power adapters, the USB mouse, the quick start guide, the reset needle pin. You're also going to get the solar panels, the solar mounting bracket, the extension cord, the screw hole for those. And if you've ever done stuff with solar power, again, you want to make sure that you've got your solar power cameras at a certain angle where it's getting the sun the most. So depending on where you live and how much sun you get per day, will kind of determine where you're going to put these as far as the cameras and location. They are 4K, and it does have, from everything that I've read, some extensive, incredible night vision that gives you clear images at nighttime. And so we're going to try and capture all of that, put that all together in the video and show you what that looks like, where it's at, what it looks like, and go from there. So let's jump into the box right now. So here's the unboxing. Here's everything that comes in it. Obviously you can see it's got the logo there at the top. Here's your two solar panels with the wire that you actually connect to the cameras. The wireless NVR system quick start guide, how to get everything started. Your actual cameras themselves. There's two of these. So we're going to set these off to the side and we'll pull those back in a second. All your cables and stuff. It's going to be your tower that's going to store all your information. And all of your cords. So if we open these individually, there's that. There's all your mounts in your brackets and screws. Your USB cord in there. So I like to unbox everything just to make sure that I have everything. You can check on the outside of the box. It went through everything. Obviously, these come with a protective case. So I am going to do the install. Again, the install that we are going to put in might not be in the final place where we're going to have it, but it's in a place that I know that gets some sunlight and is going to get some good images. And maybe it'll end up there, but let's walk you through that and we'll go from there. Couple things to know about before you install the bracket. So there's a couple things. You don't actually have to install the bracket. So you can do a bracket mount if you're going to do something inside or different things like this. And then the camera would just go here. This goes into the wall, and then you could mount the camera here. So this is the bracket that's separate. It does come with it. It comes with two of those brackets. You can also install the mount this way. So this actually separates out, and I'll show you when we get out to where we're going to put this. And then this piece is kind of a twist and lock on. I just had it off, and now I can't get it off. There we go. So you would screw this into whatever place you're going to put it on. This will mount here, and you can see that it's kind of got this tongue and groove, and you just twist it and click. And then this little tiny screw, you would screw right in here, like this, and it would lock this in place. And then you can just put the ball mount joint here We'll do this when we get outside. And then you can move the camera however you want. And then when you twist this, the final, it kind of locks the camera in place. Now, as far as the camera is concerned itself, right, you can charge it separately with a USB-C cable. Highly recommend that you have it fully charged before you go out. The USB-C is going to connect to the solar panel. You also have the ability to put in a separate SD card here to save the files and the information on an SD card. So I wanted to make that aware of it before we jump in and install and go from there. So an important note to know when you're putting this together is when you get the bracket and you get the solar panel here, you're gonna run the cord and it's actually gonna fit behind right here. There's two little hooks, and then this will plug into the bottom of the camera. And we'll show you what this looks like once we get it installed. And again, you're gonna have the 3 screws, you just screw all the way through, and then what will happen is this will connect to the camera just like this, locked in place, and then you'll turn this little screw and tighten everything up. So we'll get it installed and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can see what we've done right here is we just have these 3 screws, and then we have the wire, right? The USB that's gonna plug into the camera, and this will rotate all the way around. Depending on what time of year it is, you can point this in different directions for the sunlight. Now we want this specifically pointed at a certain area. So when we get the camera here, we can actually just twist this on just like this and tighten it up, right like that. Then we can move the camera where we want. You can see the camera's there. And then there's this little tiny screw right here that's gonna tighten these 2 pieces together so they don't fall out. And then what you can do is you can take the USB cable and just plug it right underneath here, like that. And that would just fit just like that. So that's your whole camera setup right there. So let me show you what it looks like when we've got everything absolutely completely finished. So there is everything complete, just a little bit of twist and you're good. You know, again, depending on the time of year, you'll want to move this. But you can see that the blue light is on, it's picking up motion. And so if I move again, we have this aimed specifically at our shop/shed. So I'm gonna climb down the ladder. So it's about 10 feet up in the air. So we'll get a close up of what this looks like. So you'll see the blue light just came on because I'm now in the screen and it's recording. So what we'll do is we'll actually give you some phone footage and we'll give you some images from the monitor that show what's happening on this camera in that 4K. So on the camera itself, you can see the blue light shows that something is in, and then there's the spotlight, it just turned off. So we're gonna come back out a little bit later when it's more dark. So you can see that's where it's pointing to, is right there, is that door. But we are gonna turn it back on when it gets a little bit darker and see how much light it actually shows from the camera out on the grass and stuff like that. Okay, so now we're jumping into the app. There's a couple things I wanted to show you, right? You can change the different views. It will take up to 9 cameras. Obviously, we only have one set up. We're going to set up another one. But you'll notice along the bottom is that we can take a snapshot, which is basically a screenshot of what's happening. You can see that the camera is facing, as now I'm walking into the camera, is facing our shed right over here. And so one of the things that we have is sometimes we have kids or neighbors or different things that come into the shed, and we want to make sure that we know who's going in or out. You also have the option to record, and you'll notice that down in the right-hand corner of the screen, I am actually recording some of this right now as I walk in front of the camera. I can also speak to the camera. When I click on speak, it will ask me if I... So the other nice thing, it does have an alarm, and I'm going to see if I can get the audio from the alarm as the airplanes go over and the air conditioning is on. I can manually turn that off. So you can now hear it coming through. And then you can also put a spotlight on. So I wanted to show you some footage here. So I'm standing just about 10 feet in front of the camera. and I'm going to turn on the spotlight, and I'm going to leave it on, and I'm going to pause the screen recording and see if I can show you what the spotlight looks like on the camera. So this is now some 4K footage that I actually downloaded straight from the app. This is not my camera phone. This isn't an iPad. This is footage straight from the device to my phone. You can see this is me kind of walking through the video earlier, showing you what's happening, but you can see the 4K coming through even as the sun is going down and a little bit of light, right? And so one of the things that I love about this is you can download those files straight to your phone. You can save them into your photos folder or into your camera roll, whatever device you have, you can save those to that device. And again, this is 4K imaging coming straight from that camera to your device, and then you just download it, which is nice. So then again, you can see there's the close-up of me coming up. This was me messing around with the light and the alarm and different things like that. But I just wanted to show a quick clip of the 4K that you can get with this. Now what we're going to look at is we're going to look at night mode, right? So it's fully dark outside. You can see I'm going to come out. It's fully dark. It picks me up. I'm going to turn on the actual light, and so you'll see the color in the leaves and the trees. My shirt is pink, so you might not be able to see that very well, but you can see that that light lights up everything nearby and close. You can see the trampoline in the background. You can see the basketball court on the right. You can see the shed in the back. So now we'll turn this off, and you can just see, kind of that instant change where now the, night vision comes on in that camera, and you're still getting 4K. Right, so I'm just walking across the screen. So I'm going to see if anybody or anyone or anything comes through our backyard or goes into our shop. Right, it's 9:30-ish our time. I do have kids that ride bikes home from work or different things like that, and so I want to see when they get home. And this is a great way for me to see, also to keep our stuff safe. So I just want to rehash everything again. The Napcat solar powered 100% wireless camera system, absolutely fantastic. Just highlight a few things before. Install, super easy. It took me about 10 minutes. It took me longer to remember my Wi-Fi password than it did to actually put everything together. It was 3 screws in the tree, if you saw the video, right? A couple things that I just want to hit on again that I think are super important. Easy install. You get 4K video. You can use the home base to basically create a security system in your house where you have a second monitor that you connect with an HDMI cord, and you can see everything that's happening on the different cameras. If you have multiple systems set up, you can have up to 9 cameras connected to the one system, and they all read in. You can record all of them, so you could actually use this as a business, all of that stuff. So the other thing that I mentioned a little bit but didn't hit on really hard was the 32 gigabyte drive that comes with it. You actually just plug those right in here, the SD card, and so some of that saved footage just saves right to the camera itself. And then we're talking about solar power, right? You do not need to, if you've arranged everything correctly in, your yard or your house or wherever you're at, right? Is if you've arranged everything to get the sun, you will not ever need to charge these. You won't ever need to pull them down, right? They just were there, as you can see on a tree. And the beautiful thing is, if you need to, you literally can just unscrew them, pull them down, clean them off, wipe them off, whatever. So the other things that we showed, right, were the night vision, 4K, we had a strobe light, we had a light, it was a motion sensor, you can cut the recordings, you can see all of the stuff from the app, you can also see it all from the desktop if you download the desktop or the iOS or the Android app, depending on what kind of system you're using. Overall, absolutely fantastic. I was blown away by how quickly I could put it all together, but then get all of the recordings instantly. So this video completely took me about 30 minutes to shoot. That's with different cuts, edits, unboxing, all that stuff. And all of that included me putting it together, putting it on the tree, getting it to where we needed it out in the yard, showing you the video, connecting everything.